2 Kings chapter 21. Manasseh was 12 years old when he began to reign, and reigned 55 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name also was Hephzibah. And he did evil in the sight of the Lord after the abomination of the heathen, whom the Lord had cast out before the children of Israel. For he went back and built the high places, which Hezekiah his father had destroyed. And he erected up altars for Baal, and made a grove, as did Ahab king of Israel, and worshipped all the host of heaven, and served them. Also he built altars in the house of the Lord, of which the Lord said, In Jerusalem I will put my name. And he built altars for all the host of heaven in the two courts of the house of the Lord. And he caused his sons to pass through the fire, and gave himself to witchcraft and sorcery. And he used them that had familiar spirits, and were soothsayers, and did much evil in the sight of the Lord to anger him. And he set the image of the grove that he had made in the house, whereof the Lord had said to David and to Solomon his son, In this house and in Jerusalem, which I have chosen out of all the tribes of Israel, will I put my name forever. Neither will I make the feet of Israel move any more out of the land which I gave their fathers, so that they will observe and do all that I have commanded them, and according to all the law that my servant Moses commanded them. Yet they obeyed not, but Manasseh led them out of the way, to do more wickedly than did the heathen people, whom the Lord destroyed before the children of Israel. Therefore the Lord spake by his servants the prophets, saying, Because that Manasseh king of Judah hath done such abominations, and hath wrought more wickedly than all the Amorites which were before him did, and hath made Judah sin also with his idols. Therefore thus saith the Lord God of Israel, Behold, I will bring an evil upon Jerusalem and Judah, that whoso heareth of it, both his ears shall tingle. And I will stretch over Jerusalem the line of Samaria, and the plummet of the house of Ahab. And I will wipe Jerusalem, as a man wipeth a dish, which he wipeth and turneth it upside down. And I will forsake the remnant of mine inheritance, and deliver them into the hands of their enemies. And they shall be robbed and spoiled of all their adversaries, because they have done evil in my sight, and have provoked me to anger, since the time their fathers came out of Egypt, until this day. Moreover, Manasseh shed innocent blood exceedingly much, till he replenished Jerusalem from corner to corner, beside his sin wherewith he made Judah to sin, and to do evil in the sight of the Lord. Concerning the rest of the acts of Manasseh, and all that he did, and his sin which he sinned, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? And Manasseh slept with his fathers, and was buried in the garden of his own house, even in the garden of Uzzah. And Amon his son reigned in his stead. Amon was 22 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 32 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name also was Meshullemeth, the daughter of Haruz of Jochbah. And he did evil in the sight of the Lord, as his father Manasseh did. For he walked in all the way that his father walked in, and served the idols that his father served, and worshipped them. And he forsook the Lord God of his fathers, and walked not in the way of the Lord. And the servants of Amon conspired against him, and slew the king in his own house. And the people of the land slew all them that had conspired against King Amon. And the people made Josiah his son king in his stead. Concerning the rest of the acts of Amon, which he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the king of Judah? And they buried him in his sepulchre in the garden of Uzzah, and Josiah his son reigned in his stead. 2 Kings chapter 22. Josiah was 8 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 31 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name also was Jedidiah, the daughter of Adaiah of Bozkath. And he did uprightly in the sight of the Lord, and walked in all the ways of David his father, and bowed neither to the right hand nor to the left. And in the 18th year of King Josiah The king sent Shaphan, the son of Azaliah, the son of Meshullam, the chancellor, to the house of the Lord, saying, Go up to Hilkiah the high priest, that he may sum the silver which is brought into the house of the Lord, which the keepers of the door have gathered of the people, and let them deliver into the hand of them that do the work, and have the oversight of the house of the Lord. Let them give it to them, the work of the house of the Lord, to repair the decayed places of the house, to wit, unto the artificers and carpenters and masons, to buy timber and hewed stone to repair the house. Howbeit, let no reckoning be made with them of the money that is delivered into their hand, for they deal faithfully. And Hilkiah the high priest said to Shaphan the chancellor, I have found the book of the law in the house of the Lord. And Hilkiah gave the book to Shaphan, and he read it. So Shaphan the chancellor came to the king, and brought him word again, and said, Thy servants have gathered the money that was found in the house, and have delivered it into the hands of them that do the work, and have the oversight of the house of the Lord. Also Shaphan the chancellor showed the king, saying, Hilkiah the priest hath delivered me a book. And Shaphan read it before the king. When the king had heard the words of the book of the law, he rent his clothes. Therefore the king commanded Hilkiah the priest, and Ahikam the son of Shaphan, and Achbor the son of Micaiah, and Shaphan the chancellor, and Asahiah the king's servant, saying, Go ye and inquire of the Lord for me, for the people, and for all Judah concerning the words of this book that is found. For great is the wrath of the Lord that is kindled against us, because our fathers have not obeyed the words of this book, to do according unto all that which is written therein for us. So Hilkiah the priest, and Ahikam, and Achbor, and Shaphan, and Asahiah went unto Huldah the prophetess, the wife of Shallum, the son of Tikvah, the son of Harhas, keeper of the wardrobe. And she dwelt in Jerusalem in the college, and they communed with her. And she answered them, Thus saith the Lord God of Israel, Tell the man that sent you to me, Thus saith the Lord, Behold, I will bring evil upon this place, and on the inhabitants thereof, even all the words of the book which the king of Judah hath read, because they have forsaken me, and have burnt incense unto other gods, to anger me with all the works of their hands. My wrath also shall be kindled against this place, and shall not be quenched. But to the king of Judah, who sent you to inquire of the Lord, so shall ye say unto him, Thus saith the Lord God of Israel, The words that thou hast heard shall come to pass. But because thine heart did melt, and thou hast humbled thyself before the Lord, when thou heardest what I spake against this place, and against the inhabitants of the same, to wit that it should be destroyed and accursed, and hast rent thy clothes, and wept before me, I have also heard it, saith the Lord. Behold, thereof I will gather thee to thy fathers, and thou shalt be put in thy grave in peace, and thine eyes shall not see all the evil which I will bring upon this place. Thus they brought the king word again. 2 Kings chapter 23. Then the king sent, and there gathered unto him all the elders of Judah and Jerusalem. And the king went up into the house of the Lord, with all the men of Judah, and all the inhabitants of Jerusalem with him, and the priests and the prophets, and all the people both small and great. And he read in their ears all the words of the book of the covenant, which was found in the house of the Lord. And the king stood by the pillar, and made a covenant before the Lord, that they should walk after the Lord, and keep his commandments, and his testimonies, and his statutes with all their heart, and with all their soul, that they might accomplish the words of this covenant written in this book. And all the people stood to the covenant. Then the king commanded Hilkiah the high priest, and the priests of the second order, and the keepers of the door, to bring out of the temple of the Lord all the vessels that were made for Baal, and for the grove, and for all the host of heaven. And he burnt them without Jerusalem in the fields of Kidron, and carried the powder of them into Bethel. And he put down the Chemarims, whom the kings of Judah had found, to burn incense in the high places, and in the cities of Judah, and about Jerusalem. and also them that burnt incense unto Baal, to the sun, and to the moon, and to the planets, and to all the host of heaven. And he brought out the grove from the temple of the Lord without Jerusalem unto the valley of Kidron, and burnt it in the valley of Kidron, and stamped it to powder, and cast the dust thereof upon the graves of the children of the people. And he brake down the houses of the Sodomites that were in the house of the Lord, where the women wove hangings for the grove. Also he brought all the priests out of the cities of Judah, and defiled the high places where the priests had burnt incense, even from Geba to Beersheba, and destroyed the high places of the gates that were in the entering in of the gate of Joshua the governor of the city, which was at the left hand of the gate of the city. Nevertheless the priests of the high places came not up to the altar of the Lord in Jerusalem, save only they did eat of the unleavened bread among their brethren. He defiled also Tophet, which was in the valley of the children of Hinnom, that no man should make his son or his daughter pass through the fire to Moloch. He put down also the horses of the kings of Judah, had given to the sun, at the entering in of the house of the Lord, by the chamber of Nathan-melech the eunuch, which was ruler of the suburbs, and burnt the chariots of sun with fire, and the altars that were on the top of the chamber of Ahaz, which the kings of Judah had made, and the altars which Manasseh had made in the two courts of the house of the Lord, did the king break down, and hasted thence, and cast the dust of them in the brook Kidron. Moreover the king defiled the high places that were before Jerusalem, and on the right hand of the mount of corruption, which Solomon the king of Israel had built for Ashtoreth, the idol of the Sidonians, and for Chemosh, the idol of the Moabites, and for Milcom, the abomination of the children of Ammon. And he brake the images in pieces, and cut down the groves, and filled their places with the bones of men. Furthermore, the altar that was at Bethel, and the high place that made by Jeroboam the son of Nebat, which made Israel to sin, both this altar and also the high place brake he down, and burnt the high place, and stamped it to powder, and burnt the grove. And as Josiah turned himself, he spied the graves that were in the mount, and sent and took the bones out of the graves, and burnt them upon the altar, and polluted it, according to the word of the Lord, that the man of God proclaimed, which cried the same words. Then he said, What title is that which I see? And the men of the city said unto him, It is the sepulchre of a man of God, which came from Judah, and told these things that thou hast done to the altar of Bethel. Then he said, Let him alone, let none remove his bones. So his bones were saved with the bones of the prophet that came from Samaria. Josiah also took away all the houses of the high places, which were in the cities of Samaria, which the kings of Israel had made to anger the Lord, and did to them according to all the facts that he had done in Bethel. And he sacrificed all the priests of the high places that were there upon the altars, and burnt men's bones upon them, and returned to Jerusalem. Then the king commanded all the people, saying, Keep the Passover unto the Lord your God, as it is written in the book of the covenant. And there was no Passover holden like that from the days of the judges that judged Israel, nor in all the days of the kings of Israel and of the kings of Judah. And in the 18th year of King Josiah was this Passover celebrated to the Lord in Jerusalem. Josiah also took away them that had familiar spirits, and soothsayers, and the images, and the idols, and all the abominations that were espied in the land of Judah and in Jerusalem, to perform the words of the law, which were written in the book that Hilkiah the priest found in the house of the Lord. Like unto him was there no king before him, that turned to the Lord with all his heart, and with all his soul, and with all his might, according to all the law of Moses, neither after him arose there any like him. Notwithstanding the Lord turned not from the fierceness of his great wrath, wherein he was angry against Judah, because of all the provocations wherewith Manasseh had provoked him. Therefore the Lord said, I will put Judah also out of my sight, as I have put away Israel, and will cast off this city Jerusalem, which I have chosen, and the house whereof I said, My name shall be there. Concerning the rest of the acts of Josiah and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? In his days Pharaoh Necho, king of Egypt, went up against the king of Assyria to the river Perath, and King Josiah went against him, whom when Pharaoh saw, he slew him at Megiddo. Then his servants carried him dead from Megiddo, and brought him to Jerusalem, and buried him in his own sepulchre. And the people of the land took Jehoahaz, the son of Josiah, and anointed him, and made him king in his father's stead. Jehoahaz was 23 years old when he began to reign, and reigned 3 months in Jerusalem. His mother's name also was Amutal, the daughter of Jeremiah of Libnah. And he did evil in the sight of the Lord, according to all that his fathers had done. And Pharaoh Necho put him in bonds in Riblah, in the land of Hamath, while he reigned in Jerusalem, and put the land to tribute 100 talents of silver and a talent of gold. And Pharaoh Necho made Eliakim the son of Josiah king instead of Josiah his father, and turned his name to Jehoiakim, and took Jehoahaz away, which when he came to Egypt died there. Then Jehoiakim gave the silver and gold to Pharaoh, and taxed the land to give the money, according to the commandment of Pharaoh. He levied of every man of the people of the land, according to his value, silver and gold to give to Pharaoh Necho. And Jehoiakim was 25 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 11 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name also was Zebudah, the daughter of Pedaiah of Rumah. And he did evil in the sight of the Lord, according to all that his fathers had done.